Day 2! Boom! I'm actually so tired. Oh my days. Let's go.
What's up YouTube, Otaku Games here, back with episode 3 and day 2 of the Training Like Goku series, and I am also back with the extra commentary for you guys, so let's do this. I hope you guys are doing good. It's pool day today, I'm ready to go. A little bit tired from yesterday's session, but it is what it is. You guys know the drill already. We eat, we change, and then we train. Busy schedule today, so let's do this. Alright, we are starting off the day right again with the Breakfast of Champions, porridge and eggs. Added a little bit of honey for taste this time, and we've styled the eggs in like a plain omelette kind of thing. It was pretty good, like it's decent, got me ready for the day. I must say I enjoyed it. I'm always gonna put you guys on for this Breakfast of Champions. Of course, the porridge, whole grain, slow releasing carbs. It's gonna be good for the day. And of course, as always, the eggs are giving us a good amount of protein. We worked out twice yesterday, so we definitely need as much as we can get. And of course, we're empty bowl gang again. Before we get to the training, I had to show you the fit for this day. Kind of did a reverse of what I did the day before. Got the orange tech fleece t-shirt, and then I've got the blue tech fleece. Still the standard Goku colors, just the other way around. All right guys, it's pool day number 1, as you guys know, and the first exercise we're starting off with is a very good exercise for strength training in my opinion. And that is the Penlay row, which I hope explains why it looks like I'm doing my warm-ups very enthusiastically. For you guys that don't know, the Penlay row is a variation of the standard barbell row with a few differences. Most notably, the speed of the concentric part of the workout is a lot quicker. It's designed to work on your explosive power, and a lot of people use it as a way to improve their deadlift because the pulling motion is similar. For myself specifically, in this workout, I'm using it as a way to improve the explosive power of my back in general. It mainly works your rhomboids and your lats, as with most rowing exercises. Some of the muscles in your upper back also, and then your lower back and core are used as stabilizing muscles. Now, I consider this exercise pretty difficult, not only because it's a strength training exercise, but it does involve a lot of muscle control as well. As you guys probably saw in my first working set, I was lifting 90 kg, including the bar. It wasn't too hard to actually lift the weight. However, as you can see, my torso is moving quite a lot, which isn't actually conducive to the exercise. In an idealized Penlay row, you'd have little to no movement in your exercise. I would advise searching on YouTube before you do this exercise, just so you can get a better idea, because people explain it a lot better than I do. And it can never hurt to have more than one perspective. Because my torso and my body was moving too much that I wasn't able to do the exercise with proper form, I took 2 10s off the side, so it meant I was lifting 70 kg, and as you can see, my form looks a lot better. Something that I'm gonna need to improve during these next few weeks, get it up to scratch. But yeah, for this exercise, I did 4 sets of 6. Because I find it so difficult, it forces me to focus on the exercise and improve my mind-muscle connection, which is what I love about this, and actually gets me focused and puts me in the game for the rest of the workout. Now, for exercise number 2, I did heavy dumbbell shrugs. For this exercise, I did 2 sets of 2 different variations, which means 4 sets overall, 6 reps. But for the 2 variations, the first one is the standard one that most people know. Put your shoulders back, and then you go up and down, up and down. Great. For the second one, it is slightly more difficult, and it is kind of more in between a shrug and a row, because your hands are in front of your body and you're lifting up in more of a diagonal position. This variation allows you to get more out of the eccentric movement. You don't necessarily have to do this variation, but personally I feel like I get a lot out of doing both. For the standard variation, I feel like I get more out of the concentric movement, and for this variation, I feel I get more out of the eccentric movement. It's the best of both worlds for me. My only advice for this one would be to aim for full range of motion, all the way up and all the way down. And I'd say aim to use the correct weight that you'd be able to do 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps. Even though we are doing heavy weight training, you don't want to be going so heavy that you're only doing like 2 reps. That's useless for this specific workout. Exercise number 3 is another favorite of mine, and that is the weighted pull-up. We're leaning back into the gravity training kind of aspect with the weight dragging us down. But yeah, a pretty standard exercise. 4 sets of 6 if you can, or as close to as possible. Again, like with the previous exercise, full range of motion, try to go all the way up and all the way down. This is an exercise that is great for both your back and your biceps, especially because it's weighted. At this point, if you struggle to do normal pull-ups, I'd say void the weight for now, focus on your pull-ups and improving them, and then slowly build the weight up as you improve. If you struggle to do pull-ups full stop, maybe because it's not an exercise you train that much, or you just find it difficult in general, I'd say most gyms usually have an assisted pull-up machine. I'd say stay on that. I would advise working on that before you start the Goku training, just so that you can get the most out of it and build your ability to do your pull-ups up until you're pretty confident around them. Then you could maybe try the weighted pull-ups, or you could stick to normal pull-ups for now and then build up from there. But yeah, other than that, 4 sets of 4 to 6. If you're someone that's doing this workout or doing the full routine for the 4 cycles, I say the main thing about this is challenging yourself. So whatever progression you're at, if you're not able to do pull-ups at all, or you're able to do weighted pull-ups very easily, try and make sure that as you continue through the weeks that you're improving and that you're progressively overloading at the rate that you're able to. Next up is the wide grip lat pull down machine. Now I say wide grip because in this exercise, we want to put more of an emphasis on your teres major and your teres minor, to be honest. Those muscles that don't really get worked out as often as like the lats, the traps, the rhomboids, stuff like that. The aim is to work as much as the back as possible. So for me, that involves putting my hands right at the ends of the wide bar on the lat pull down. For someone that may be slightly smaller than myself, you may not have to go as far, but your aim is to do a very wide grip on it. You want to put a slight lean in your body, and the aim is to bring the bar to your chest or to as close as possible as your range of motion allows. Of course, like with all the other exercises, we are going heavy, 3 sets of your 4 to 6 range. Make sure that you're controlling the reps. You don't want to just be letting it go or letting it release on the eccentric. You want to control it on the way up also as much as on the way down. Exercise number 5 is weighted hyperextensions. Now, this is an exercise that I find difficult when I first start doing it again, mainly because I don't tend to work my lower back as often or as consistently as I should. But I do also find that when I do work it consistently, my lifts in general improve just because it's improving my core as a whole. If you're not used to doing this exercise or you've never done this exercise before, I'd say start off without the plate. It's hard enough as it is, to be honest. Now for this exercise, you do want to get full range of motion, and that involves curving your spine slightly as you go down. Keeping your back straight you can still do, but you won't get the most out of the exercise. For this exercise, range of motion and form are very important. Make sure you're going all the way down as your body allows, and as you come up, make sure you bring yourself only up to the point where your body's straight again. I'd say explosive on the way up and controlled on the way down. The aim is 4 sets of 4 to 6, but if you're not used to training your lower back, don't overload it. You can always progress throughout the training. Day 2, I'm already tired. 4.5 more days to go, but as long as I get those days of rest, I'll be fine. We go again. Next exercise is the dumbbell bicep curl. Like we spoke about in our last video, the difference between using a dumbbell variation and a barbell variation is that with dumbbells, you require more stabilizing muscles, meaning more muscle control. And with the barbell, you're able to load it a lot easier. Now, this is a pretty standard exercise. My only advice is to check your form, make sure your core's braced, make sure that your upper part of your arm is not moving. The only real movement should be your forearms going up and down. Make sure you're getting full range of motion and make sure you're squeezing at the top to get the most out of the exercise. Bicep curls in general are probably the best workouts for your biceps, obviously, and are very good for your forearms as well, so make sure you get the most out of them. This is going to be the only workout technically where your biceps are the primary focus of the exercise. You could kind of count pull-ups as well, but I'd say while pull-ups do work your biceps a lot, they are more back, but there is a reason for this. Number 1, we are going to be doing pull day number 2, which is going to involve a lot more bicep work, and also when it comes to the next exercise, you're not going to need to work biceps anymore for the rest of the day. Which leads us to the finisher, the pull-up hold. Now for me, this is one of the hardest exercises in my whole routine. Like literally it is just draining. After this, I'm completely done. It's definitely a finisher. So the aim is to jump up into the pull-up position, but you're going to be holding it at the concentric point, right at the top of the pull-up. The aim is to hold it for as long as possible, squeezing your biceps together at the top to get the best out of the exercise. I am telling you, your biceps are going to be drained after this. Great exercise, and also leaning into the gravity-based route because you're literally fighting gravity to stay at the top of the exercise. And that is the first exercise of the day done. Now following this, I did a variety of exercises around my back and my neck just to make sure that I wasn't too tight. Also my biceps slightly, and then of course I made my way home to eat. So post-workout meal number 1 of the day was actually really nice and aesthetically pleasing if I do say so myself. Obviously I made it. It being a mix of pork steak, shredded chicken, radishes to stay in the line of the same vegetables, got a little bit of sprouts, basmati rice, and 2 fried eggs. To be honest, I don't really tend to eat radishes like that. I was just trying something different and it fit in line with the theme, but they were nicer than I thought they were gonna be. I actually recommend. Meal went down well, had to kind of rush it because I was trying to get to my coach's fighting time. She was fighting in the Muay Thai Grand Prix. But yeah, of course, I'll be putting the macros and the calories on the screen. So of course, had to get changed, come with the Ashita no Joe t-shirt, if you know, you know, and then some jeans, because it's not everyday tech fleece. And then got ready to go. Alright guys, just about to go off to watch the fight. Hopefully I'll get some good clips for this video, but if I don't, blame the future version of me. But it should be on the Muay Thai Grand Prix YouTube as well. I'll probably link it if I can find it. But yeah, let's go. Wow. I actually don't remember saying that, but to be honest, I didn't get as many clips as I probably would have liked. I did get some and I'll put them on the screen. It was a really great event, to be honest. I recommend checking it out if they've got it on their YouTube. It was just great to see all those different fighters, and like great for me, like as someone that's learning. It was great to see my coach fight. yeah, it was just really a good time. Went to eat afterwards while we were there. It was hard to film. Obviously, I didn't bring my camcorder while I was out because that's long. And I did kind of forget to film my food before I started eating. So as you'll see on the screen, my food is like half eaten. But I had burger, fries, standard meal. It was pretty good. Probably not as calorie efficient or calorie dense as a meal I probably would have had, but is what it is. I think I made up for the calories later on in my second post-workout meal. But yeah, good day, came back home, got ready again, swapped my jeans out for my Muay Thai shorts, put on a do-rag and headed to train. Did a few dynamic stretches before I started just to get my body warmed up and ready. For me, one of the main takeaways from watching the Muay Thai Grand Prix was the amount of energy a lot of these guys had. So my main focus was that for this session. Because of that, I kind of changed my plan and picked up a skipping rope. Now, skipping is very key to training in Muay Thai, training in boxing. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think for boxing, it's mainly to work on footwork, but for Muay Thai, that repeated impact on the floor helps build up the shin bones, which is essential when it comes to throwing roundhouse kicks. You know, a lot of those guys have ridiculously strong legs, so just able to throw kicks repeatedly with ease. And also skipping helps improve endurance as well. In light of all of that, I did a 20-minute skipping session. It was really fun, to be honest, but it was tiring. It was good to see how much I could do as well, because it'd been a while since I'd actually skipped, maybe like a month or so. If you're doing this as well, don't think that you have to do 20 minutes or you have to be restricted to 20 minutes if you're able to do more. And don't think that you can't stop and start. The main thing is to build up your endurance. For example, if you do 1 minute of skipping and then you rest for 30 seconds, then 1 minute of skipping, rest for 30 seconds, then 5 minutes of skipping, or whatever you're doing. You might do 30 seconds of skipping and resting for 1 minute. The main thing is to push yourself in what you can do and progress as you go on. I also use this time to work on like different techniques that I'm able to do in skipping, like hopping, running. I'm always trying to do a crisscross, but I haven't got it patterned yet, but soon, don't worry, it's pending. But yeah, 20 minutes of skipping, good way to build up the endurance. Then moved on to basic drills, working on my 100. So that would be 100 check kicks, 100 jump knees, 100 teeps, and 100 repeat kicks, for example. If you guys do different martial arts, you could transfer those kind of drills that you do into that kind of variation, or do whatever drills you do in classes. It's basically just practicing and working on technique and also working on your endurance as well. Like the main aim is that those drills become second nature to you. So when you're doing like your sparring classes and stuff like that, it's a lot easier. I finished the session off with a little bit of core work because I want to make sure I'm doing a little bit of core every day throughout this session, just to make sure that my core is improving as much as the rest of my body. I also got my friend to do some light conditioning on my core as well. Not something I advise if that's not something you do in your martial arts classes, or if you're not doing martial arts in general, I'd say you don't really need to do it. So you can skip that. And that is the second workout of the day done. Went over my body with the foam roller, which I definitely recommend as a cool down tool. It's just good for releasing soreness and tightness. And it's a good way to get your range of motion back after an exercise. You know, sometimes your arms can feel tight and you feel like you can't really stretch properly. Foam roller. But yeah, spent about 15 to 20 minutes on that. Then went home to eat. Final meal of the day was diced beef stew, scrambled eggs, a lot of cauliflower. Looking at that bowl now, wow. And you can't see it, but there is rice in there. There's even 100 grams extra rice to make up for the calories that I missed earlier on in the day. And yeah, I definitely needed it after that workout. That was very tiring, so it's good to go. Was a decent meal. I'm not a big fan of cauliflower, but it went down well. I'll put the calories and macros on here, and yeah, we're done. All right, that is day 2 done. Great workouts today, great fights were watched. I'm hella inspired, hella motivated to keep training. We go again tomorrow with leg day. That's gonna be painful, but I can't wait, to be honest. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.